Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Cutlery Outdoors, a Rosecraftblades Alenta rendition, if you will, in beautiful red and black. Before we get into this, guys, you know what time it is. There was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. Now, stats show that number all over the place, some up, some down. The thing that matters the most is this: anything above zero is unacceptable. What does that mean, Scab? It simply means this: if you're a vet, you're welcome here. We love you. You have a place here. We back to blue over here. We support Leo. Oh, y'all know everybody hates that. How do you do that, Scab? Well, we don't break the damn law. And when we do, because we take responsibility for it. And finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. So, here's the deal, guys. This is the Alenta by Rosecraftblades. It is absolutely gorgeous, and it's very functional. Now, this is a little bit longer video. It's almost 15 minutes. I wanted to do a complete and comprehensive review of this knife because I'm a huge fan of it. Let's go over some specs real quick. The steel is RPM 9. It's a very, very good steel. Easy to sharpen back up. Great budget steel. The overall length of this knife open is 8.1 inches. The blade length is 3.3 inches. The handle length is 4.8. Now, the handle is black G10, okay? Very, very, very comfortable in hand. It is an upswept blade, kind of a trailing point. It's a manual flipper. It has ambidextrous thumb studs on there, red anodized. Absolutely gorgeous against that black. It runs on ceramic ball bearings. It is a liner lock. It has a great lockup system to it. It's a hidden, and it has a hidden lanyard spot. Now, Chase Snyder is the designer of this knife. So let's talk about a couple things. One, this is the world's hardest salami, son. I'm going to tell you that right now. Lola tried to get it, and then I think she just quit and gave up on it. She knows it was that hard. But I wanted to do a little bit of food prep, just cutting up some summer sausage, salami, that kind of thing, and then move on into the video. If you're new, and we got a lot of new folks here, man, thank you for choosing this video. Thank you for subscribing to Choir Boys Cutlery Outdoors, or CCO. I truly, truly appreciate you. Big shout out to Rosecraftblades and Mr. Andy for sending this along. Now, he sent this one along, and he sent one along with jade handle scales. I'm going to give that one away. We're going to talk about that one at the end of the video. What you're going to see throughout this video is not really testing. Nothing we do is testing. Okay, we call these demonstrations because they're not a review. I missed the shit out of that. Good looking knife. Now, I do this right here, just some quick slashes. A lot of it's just playing and cutting up. Some of it is using that pinch grip and checking out the tip. The tip is extremely sharp. The knife is also very, very light and very, very fast. I will pin the weight. I'll pin a comment in the description for the weight. That's the one thing I didn't look up, and I apologize for that, but there will be a weight pinned in the description. The thing I like about this knife is this: there's more handle than there is blade. When I was younger, I liked the opposite. Now that I've gotten older and the skill set's improved, I like, and have busted up hands from life, I like having more handle. I can get a good 4-finger grip on this blade. Very, very, very comfortable in hand. There, taking a fencing grip and just doing our zip tie test. And again, for those of you that's new, we'll just act like you've never seen a video before. We do that simply not to check the sharpness, okay? A knife needs to be sharp enough to cut zip ties. We do it to make sure it doesn't chip or roll the edge. I've had a couple of folks like that test. They love that test because they cut zip ties every day. Personally, I cut zip ties quite a bit, so for me, it is a very, very practical demonstration. Then we're going to cut some wood. The theory behind my videos is this, guys. We start off cutting paper, okay? Is that the end-all, be-all of checking sharpness? No. Some people cut hair. Some people do all kind of things. Some people measure it, and I'm not being smart there. Joe, Steel Forge and Fire Sword Knife, has a device to measure the sharpness. I just like cutting paper. It gives me a good idea where the edge is at. We start off with magazine paper, and then we move our way up, and throughout the video, I try to cut mediums that are harder and harder and harder as we go. That checks the overall sharpness of the knife. Does the edge hold up, etc., etc., etc. We start off with magazine paper. We usually end up with printer paper because after doing this much cutting, guys, it's going to wear on the edge. I don't give a damn what the steel is. Don't care who makes it. After 3 or 4 hours of cutting, slicing, stabbing, doing whatever, the edge is going to wear down when it's continuous. So we start off with one medium magazine paper. We end with a little thicker printer paper. Okay, this is 1-inch high pressure sandblast hose. It is steel belted, and I like putting that initial slice and just kind of showing you, hey, we're not sawing in as much as that first push. It does penetrate that sandblast hose. That's some tough stuff there, guys. Y'all see me cut it up quite a bit. It comes from work, comes from my background. We're also going to cut some 2-inch, 3/16 thick, 2-ply air hose, high pressure air hose, but we're going to do it a different way. As we go, right here, here's that air hose. What I like doing here is pushing down. Puts a lot of pressure on that pivot, okay? I'm a bigger fella, so it's a lot of pressure. We're testing, now when we do these cuts here, these slices here, and I'm going to show you the thickness right here so you get a good idea. You see it's 2-ply, it's about 3/16 to a 1/4 inch thick compared to the blade. I'll also put the blade thickness in when I pin the weight. Here's the deal, guys. I like doing this to put pressure on the pivot system. It's a lot of force going down. Does it mess up the locking system? Does it provide lock rock? Does it do anything? Rosecraftblades, I've been very, 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 very impressed with. That's why this video is a little longer, okay? We've done 3 reviews up until now. This is the 4th, right? So I wanted to get one that was complete, as comprehensive as I can get it with my skill set. Again, I'm not an expert. Don't pretend to be. Don't act like I am. This whole channel, this whole journey is a learning process. I use a knife every day. I use a pocket knife and I use a fixed blade every single day of my life, trying to build a particular skill set. That way, when we do these videos, you can actually get a good idea of what the knife can do. We're learning. I say that every time. Here we're going to take a pinch grip on the knife. That's that 2-inch ratchet strap or tow rope, whatever you want to call it. And here's the deal, guys. For those of you that are hunters, I like doing this because that, to me, the ratchet strap's kind of reminiscent of hide and skinning and caping and that kind of thing, those capabilities. The tip of this knife is razor sharp. I myself love an upswept blade. I just do. I love the overall aesthetic and ergonomics of this knife. The handle in particular, and I'll give you that inner grip. So there's 3 or 4 things that I'm going to pin in the comments, and I apologize again. But the inner grip and the weight are 2 big things. But the interior of the knife, or the interior of the grip, that inner grip, is really, really conducive. My hand didn't get tired. I didn't cramp up throughout the process. Like I said, I get 2 or 3, 4 hours in per demonstration. It takes that much by the time you screw up, cut a bunch of stuff, realize you hadn't turned on the camera, do the dumbass stuff old Scab does. Now, it's also a lot of fun, all right, because we cut water bottles, we do all kinds of stuff when we play with pocket knives. It's a lot more fun when the pocket knife comes sharp. This one did. When it comes well made, certainly did. And when it comes with good lockup, meaning I know a lot of guys have a problem with liner locks, okay? Here's my thing. If it's well made and it's well done, I don't have an issue with liner locks. Rosecraftblades liner locks are well made and they're well done. Here, I hate the spine whack test. I'll just be honest with y'all. To me, it's pointless. The only time I've ever done it is to shut somebody up. But I actually kind of did it in this video, inadvertently tapping a board in, and I'll show you when I get there. The lockup was good. Here's the Donnie B all day drop test. Donnie B all day throw it at the stump test. I do this to check the balance, to check the tip, make sure the edge doesn't roll. We throw it pretty hard a couple times. No damage to the knife. I also do it to see if the lock will stay engaged, okay? throughout this process it did. And if it, here's the thing sometimes too, guys, if it did loosen up, is that the end all be all? No, but I like to know that that liner lock holds. Now, right here, at about once or twice, maybe 3 times a video, I'll do something dumbass, okay? This one, I think I had a couple in, cut my finger there. I always grab something that's too short for my little fat fingers. So it took a minute to get through, but you saw when we popped the trunk, we were able to cut the ratchet strap with no problem, okay? Now, we're going to cut some rope. This is kind of ski rope type stuff. I don't know if you call that nylon. I don't know what that is, but that's that. And then we're going to cut some polypropylene rope. Spit it out, Scab. I can't stand this rope right here because it is a more difficult medium to cut. Sometimes you wind up breaking it more than you do cutting it. The knife held up very, very well throughout the demonstration. Some things I look for in a pocket knife. I don't care much for weight. I really don't. That's not a concern with me. I know it is for some people. Here we're doing the John Peters stab test. And I do that because I carry bigger folders, guys. So weight's not a factor with me. However, the things I look for, is it easy to open and close one-handed? With my work, I need to be able to reach in my pocket, pull out a pocket knife, open it, close it one-handed, pull it out, put it back. That leads me to the tip, okay? And this knife, you'll see me in my pocket knife demos, videos, you'll see me opening and closing it constantly. Constantly. You'll see me fidgeting with it. That's honestly more to show you, hey, it is easily opened and closed with one hand. That being said, pulling the knife out, I like a snug clip, but not a clip that just bites in and you got to fight to get it in. You saw at the beginning of the video, pulling it in and out of the pocket. It holds in place good, but it's easily removed. That's a plus with me. All right? There we're just taking another look at the edge. We've done some things. Now, we shaved a quick thing right here because if old Scab's anything, I like making punji sticks and spears and stuff for the neighborhood kids. Start them off right. This is the board I was telling you we're going to tap in, and I wasn't even thinking about this, tapping it into the thing because we're going to do some light batoning. Do I baton with a folder? No. But I do like to use this again. Now, typically, if it is not my knife, I'll disengage the lock. If it's my knife, we'll go ahead and baton with it, and it's light. This isn't heavy batoning, okay? But again, I like doing certain things in the videos. Maybe I wouldn't do them, but I like showing you, hey, the knife is well made, the knife is well constructed, and the knife works. And right here, we just whittled the stick down. I'm doing part of this too because it's upcoming Friday. We're going to do an overnight out there behind Kirk's, break in the new studio. So I'm trying to thin up a lot of this wood. A lot of the stuff I've got around the stump, I'll be moving over there to kind of burn, get rid of. So I'm making it as small as I can. The Alenta, to me, is a multi-purpose knife, okay? And again, right here, there's a great look at that handle. You see that curvature of the inner grip. You see how the bottom of the handle is swollen, so that way you got something your pinky can lock in and lock on. I like that a lot. Guys, couple of shout outs real quick, and let me discuss my giveaway. Mr. Andy sent me one of these with jade scales. I'm going to give it away. I'm going to spend this week figuring out how I want to do it. But here's the thing. Put in the comments, I want to use it to help Eonion's Edge. He's a veteran. His wife has an illness. I want to help him. Thanks to Freedom Frog Gear. Shout out to Frog, Freedom Frog Gear, for bringing that to my attention. So the giveaway is going to be based around Eonion's Edge. I will come up with something, and we'll do that towards the end of the week. And thank you to Rosecraft for sending 2 and allowing me to do that. So, Eonion's Edge, Freedom Frog Gear, Rosecraftblades, of course. And guys, listen, I will also put in the description a link to Rosecraftblades' website. If you use Choir Boys with a Z, you'll get a 10% discount. Donnie B all day, Joe, Steel Forged and Fire Sword and Knife, my guy Grugsy from Legion Tactical, Angry, Dracolope, and Pistol Pete are my shout outs for the day. And here's the deal, guys. I love this knife. I'm Scab, you're not, and I'm gone, son.